What is up, Internet? It is August 29th, and here's my daily cryptocurrency journal. So Bitcoin just had a explosive move to the upside of about almost 9% here. Grayscale won the lawsuit against the SEC for their spot Bitcoin ETF. So the market is rallying on that, and we're having a really nice move to the upside. Looking at the CVDs, you have a strong spot and futures bid. It looks like currently right now that bid is starting to wane off with spot and futures starting to roll over. It does look like spot is leading the sell down though. But what's nice to have this move up, looks like spot was leading a good majority of it, and looks like the market was in equilibrium too for a good majority of it. It looks like futures though was the catalyst though. It looks like the futures market was the catalyst to send the market higher. You can see all these huge short liquidations that got liquidated here, and we had another leg up right here with another big liquidation right here, and now I'm waiting to see whether or not we'll get continuation to clear 28k, or if we're going to consolidate sideways potentially to make our move downward. Just looking at a larger time frame here, it looks like this was an accumulation period of some sort. Last video I discussed the possibility of this being a potential spring, and it looks like that theory is holding up as of right now, as we had the spring right here, and I believe this is currently our sign of strength phase right here. So right now I'm just watching, being patient to see whether or not the market starts to accept here, trade sideways, or if we get some sort of pullback before having continuation higher. One thing that I will make note of is if we do get a full retracement of this move, that would be very bearish to me, and I would fully expect these lows to get taken out, because on this news we should really see continuation from this. If the market is not able to rally higher on this news, and clear 28k and potentially make our way higher, then I think it's much more likely these lows get taken, and it gives more credit to the possibility that this was the top of the rally, right? So amazing news that we got, and I really want to see the market show strength here. Right now in the CVDs, it's currently showing strength, but I'm looking for that continuation, right? So it looks like we're getting rejected off the first band of the VWAP right here, but what I'm looking for is all the longs that accumulated here to get flushed on move down here, which is why I have an alert set here. It would be really nice to get a retest of the anchored VWAP, which I have anchored basically to this candle right here. That would also coincide with a test of the 4-hour EMA. So that would be my trigger to essentially look for long. Holy shit, look at that. Super strong move right there that you just saw. It looks like it was driven by futures too, because the basis was going up here. Does not look like there was any significant liquidations, but it does look like there was probably a big spot bid or a futures bid that just came in here. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at that. Really big spot in futures bid. Let me check Exocharts really quick to see what was going on there. Yeah, look at that, almost 100 mil bot in futures. So that's crazy. That's a huge move, and that's a clean retest off this right here. So if we actually hold this right here and we don't take out this low, then I would expect us to continue up higher. So it was cool to catch that live. But anyways, let me go to my journal, see what I have here for my notes. So my bias for today, of course, is bullish, because Grayscale won their lawsuit against the SEC. There's a strong spot and futures bid with spot leading a decent portion of the move. The question now becomes, will we continue higher to clear 28k, which is basically this resistance right here, or will we consolidate sideways? If we do get a pullback, how deep will the pullback go? If we get a retracement of the full move, that would be very bearish to me. Okay, so the bearish scenario is trade sideways and a pullback to the 4-hour EMA, potentially losing that and getting a deeper pullback, right? The most extreme bearish scenario though would be coming back down to this 26.6 level, and if we lost that, right, and got a full retracement of the move, that would look very bearish to me. Okay, bullish scenario is continuation higher, clearing 28k, and acceptance above. So the bullish scenario for me would be, of course, if we trade sideways, maybe we do get a bounce here, but we clear 28k and we accept above here, before continuation higher. That would be the ideal scenario for me. Okay, so Bitcoin looks the strongest to me simply because of the news that Grayscale won. XRP looks the weakest to me, simply just because it's been kind of trading sideways. Most of the altcoins actually did not outperform Bitcoin on this move. If you check Bitcoin dominance, you can see Bitcoin dominance shot up on the news, which is expected. You had a big win for Bitcoin, so it makes sense to me why altcoins would not be outperforming Bitcoin during this news, because it's purely a Bitcoin news event. Okay, Wyckoff structures for my coins of focus, the altcoins, they all appear to be in accumulation phases, you know, similar to Bitcoin, although we have not had a significant breakout like we have had with Bitcoin out of the accumulation range, right? So if you consider this your accumulation range, right, your spring right here, selling climax right there, you had a little bit of an automatic reaction right here, you've had a little bit of a UTAD right here. But what's interesting about this UTAD is that typically when you get these UTADs, you'll get a move back down to the bottom, right? And you'll take out the lows. So the fact that we consolidated sideways here for quite some time was actually bullish, you know? And then we had an explosive move up here, which I believe this is our sign of strength, right? So now the question becomes, do we get a pullback of some sort, or do we consolidate kind of sideways before getting another leg up? If we did get a leg up, I'd want to see us make our way up to here. About 28.7 would be very nice. And then, you know, and if we can continue even higher, potentially up to 29K and then even clear 31K, that would be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. So yep, that is kind of my thoughts on the market right now. Because we just had this huge bid right here on Bitcoin, I'm going to see whether or not we actually hold the midpoint of this range right here for continuation higher. I'm also going to be closely watching the CVDs to see if we can get some bidding going on here. It looks like spot is buying. It looks like we had a good futures bid right here. It looks like futures is currently leading. So what I'd want to see is I'd want to see at least this low hold here. Like if we can come down here and get trading sideways a bit more here, then that would be looking bullish for me to potentially enter on along at least to clear 28K right here, right? Otherwise, if we lose this, right, then it's looking more like this was just like a short squeeze of some sort, and I'd expect us to roll over and at least make our way down here. Again, none of this is financial advice because I am not a financial advisor. This is just my personal cryptocurrency journal. But anyways, guys, I will see you at the end of the trading day. Later. All right, what is up, internet? It is the end of the trading session for me, and today did not go very well. Unfortunately, I was unable to identify the correct bias for Bitcoin's price action. I was bullish today, or I was bullish for my trading session, expecting us to continue up and clear these highs, and what ended up happening is Bitcoin rolled over. So while today was pretty bullish, in the grand scheme of things, it looks like when I started trading, it was near the top of this move. And I'm trying to figure out the things that I could have used to identify that this was indeed the top. One thing could have been the increase in open interest here. As this high was cleared with this move up, you could see that there was a ton of open interest that was added in this move up, and this could have been late longs that were entering. One thing that could have signaled that these were indeed late longs is the fact that the funding rate was increasing throughout this period. So this could have told me that, hey, there's a lot of late longs entering in here, and these will definitely need to be flushed out, or these could potentially be flushed out if there is a move down, right? There's that. Also, if you look on a larger time frame, at the top of this order block right here, you could see price did wick above this right here. So it makes sense that this indeed would be a good place for a pullback of some sort. Another thing is at the start of the day, I was also able to correctly speculate that there could be late longs that are entering in here, and we might need a pullback down to at least this area to flush out some of these late longs. And what threw me off was, of course, this candle right here when there's about 150 million in Bitcoin that bought right here. That threw me off a bit, and seeing this got me to be pretty bullish, thinking that we would clear these highs. Another thing that threw me off is that also coincided with a bounce off this the green VWAP, anchored VWAP right here. And one thing that could have invalidated my idea, or this idea, was when we broke down through this anchored VWAP. Because if we were indeed bullish right here, going to clear this highs, we shouldn't have broken back down through this VWAP. We should have continued the trend up. So that could have been another thing that indicated to me that the idea was wrong and that we were going to get some sort of a pullback. Looking at the CVDs, I'm trying to figure out if there could have been anything in the CVDs that could have indicated to me that there was going to be a pullback. Just looking, like, spot was buying pretty substantially throughout this period, although futures was selling. Looking at the spot exchanges, like Coinbase is buying and still continuing to buy. Binance looks like it's slightly selling right now, but it was buying all throughout this period. Kraken and OKX were selling. So I don't know if there's anything really in the CVDs that could have indicated to me that there was going to be a pullback. I think just in terms of price action, just identifying that, hey, we wicked up above this point right here, which it makes sense that there would be a pullback right here, seeing that there was a lot of open interest that's increasing here, and that this is probably going to need to be flushed out before we continue higher. And then also seeing that the funding rate is increasing. That could have been the telltale sign that we were going to have some sort of a pullback. And of course, once you started breaking structure, especially like right here, then that should have told me that the idea was wrong. So yeah, today was not very good. I tried to long multiple times throughout the day. I took in a long right here, and of course I got stopped out right here. I took another long in here and then got stopped out right here. I took another long right here and got stopped out right here, and I took another long like right here, and then I ended up getting stopped out with this move. So my bias for Bitcoin was not correct, and as a result, the longs that I ended up taking, because I was bullish, ended up getting stopped out. So that's just something to keep in mind for next session. So yeah, today did not go very well. I incorrectly identified Bitcoin's bias for my trading session. While Bitcoin was bullish today and had a solid move to the upside, I began trading near the top of that move, and as a result, my longs got continually stopped out. So basically, like, I basically longed the top today and got stopped out as a result, right? Was not expecting there to be a reversal. My stop losses were in good positions, resulting in minor hits for the most part. So that's one thing I did do very good, is I did have very tight stop losses on my entries, which resulted in minor hits, relatively minor hits, compared to like the wins that I could have had if the trades had gone accordingly. What can be improved: being more patient with my execution, waiting specifically for high volume in order to enter. So a lot of the times I wasn't waiting for high volume in order to enter my trades, and if I had done that, I would have gotten in better positions, and my stop losses would have been able to be even tighter, resulting in smaller hits. Okay, and then of course, being patient, not getting FOMO. Was my Bitcoin PA bias correct? And I already talked about this. No, it was not. Which coin ended up being the strongest? Solana ended up being the strongest, as you can see here in the Bitcoin pair. Solana actually started trending up relative to Bitcoin. So if I had traded Solana during my trading session, I actually would have gotten some wins. You know, if I would have taken longs in Solana. He had a nice almost 2% move here. It looks like Solana is finally starting to roll over right here with some downside with Bitcoin. Which coin was the weakest? Bitcoin was surprisingly the weakest. Okay, so out of all the altcoins that I look at, all of them were pretty much trading up compared to Bitcoin during my trading session. Even XRP, you know, hasn't even broken structure yet. It looks like we're starting to get there. Composition had decent move. You know, all these are trading up relative to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was surprisingly the weakest out of all these altcoins, which kind of makes sense. Like, after you do have a big move up in Bitcoin, a lot of that capital will rotate to altcoins. So maybe that could have also been a sign that the top is in for Bitcoin, or at least a local top is in for Bitcoin. The fact that altcoins are starting to outperform Bitcoin, signaling that there could be some sort of rotation in the works. Okay, notice anything interesting about your coins of focused price action? Okay, so for Sol, there was a 3 drives up, then a break of structure, a pattern I've seen play out a few times. So basically what I'm talking about is it's just a topping structure I've seen a lot, where you have like 1 drive, 2 drives, 3 drives, and on the 3rd drive here, that's when you actually have the price action roll over, and then you get a break of structure right here. So just something interesting I saw, something I want to keep note of, something I want to make note of and just pay attention to in the future. Did I follow my focus goals from yesterday? I should work more on patience for my trading execution. And tomorrow's focus is patience, entering trades on high volume, okay, and looking at all the alts throughout the day for trading opportunities. So I was pretty much focused on Bitcoin throughout the entire day and neglected the other altcoins that I watch. And if I had paid more attention to some of these other altcoins, I would have been able to, for example, maybe I would have been able to get involved in a Sol long, because I noticed, like, hey, we're at the bottom of this Bitcoin, the Bitcoin pair. There's an opportunity to long Sol, you know, or also I could have gotten involved in a short at one of these peaks here for Solana, given that it's starting to roll over. But yeah, I don't know, something to keep in mind. But anyways, that is the end of today's video. Again, none of this is trading advice. None of this is financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.